Good afternoon, everybody. It's that time of the day again where you get your Israel Brief headlines from me, Rolene Marks. And just a reminder that the Israel Brief is brought to you by Lay of the Land, and we do this every Monday to Thursday. You can find us on our Facebook page at Lottel Site. Give us a like, a follow, and don't forget to share our content. And we're also on our YouTube channel at the Israel Brief. And if you want to be part of our community, all you have to do is click on the red subscribe button below this very broadcast. But let's get into those top stories, and we seem to be inching closer and closer to actually forming a government. This will hopefully put an end to the 2-year-old cycle of seemingly never-ending elections. So where do we stand at the moment? It is expected that sometime today, Yair Lapid, he is the chairman of the Yesh Atid faction. He is expected to make an announcement to Israel and to President Rivlin that he is able to form a unity government. Now, of course, the Likud faction aren't going down without a fight, and yesterday tried to legally block Naftali Bennett's ability to be the prime minister, which is the agreement of this unity government. He will be prime minister first on a rotational basis with Yesh Atid's Yair Lapid. However, the president, Ruvi Rivlin, has said that it is perfectly legal for Naftali Bennett to go as prime minister first. So where we stand at the moment, there are still a lot of details to be ironed out, a lot of last-ditch negotiations, and I mean, we can imagine this can't be very easy when you've got factions from the left to the right. You've got the Arab Ra'am, you've got the more right-leaning Yamina party, you've got the centrist Yesh Atid party, you've got Meretz, you've got Labour. How are we going to cobble this all together? And we're throwing in Yisrael Biteinu and the blue and white for good measure. So everybody has to be satisfied with the portfolios we get. So imminently we are expecting this big announcement. But in other negotiations, we have to announce that Egyptian officials have announced rather that they are working on a mega deal with Hamas and Israel, which would see the reconstruction of the Gaza Strip following Operation Guardians of the Wall, and the exchange of Israeli civilians Hisham al-Sayed and Avera Mengistu, as well as the remains of fallen soldiers Hadar Golden and Oron Shaul, who fell during Operation Protective Edge in 2014, being returned. Now, Yahya Sinwar and Ismail Haniyeh, the leaders of Hamas, have indicated that they are ready for immediate negotiations. And while we don't exactly know what their demands are, we are speculating it could involve a prisoner swap from their side. They have been quoted as saying, remember the digits 1111, and that could allude to the amount of prisoners they want swapped out. So we don't know too many details, but we do know that this is in the negotiation stage, and the Jerusalem Post reporting earlier that there is very, very close to a deal being reached. But the question on everybody's mind is Hassan Nasrallah, the leader of Hezbollah, still alive? There were some unconfirmed reports doing the rounds on social media earlier that he had perhaps passed away. However, sources close to Nasrallah have said that he is still alive, albeit battling pneumonia and allergies that include hay fever. And while he is under medical supervision, there is no need for him to be hospitalized. And this is not the first time that speculation has surrounded the life or death of Hassan Nasrallah. And just before we update you on where you can find us on social media, Lay of the Land is remembering today and tomorrow the Farhud. The Farhud was a pogrom in Iraq in 1941 incited by Nazi allies, which saw the slaughter of 180 Iraqi Jews and the destruction of at least 1,500 shops and homes, as well as the severe injuries of at least 2,000 Iraqi Jews. We remember the Farhud. This is a pogrom that isn't spoken about as much as it should be. and our thoughts and our prayers and our hope that the memory of those who passed away and their families and descendants may be for a blessing. So those are our top stories making headlines today. Don't forget you can find us on Facebook at Lottle Site. Give us a like, give us a follow, share our content. We're on YouTube at The Israel Brief. Click on that red subscribe button. On Twitter at Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land 5. See what we are tweeting all about today. And of course, our website where you can find all our original content, including a very, very in-depth article by our resident advocate, Craig Snoyman, on how much of a role did Sheikh Jarrah and all the controversy surrounding it play in the recent conflict between Israel and Hamas. And you can find it there at www.layoftheland.online. So with today's edition of the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, and we'll chat again tomorrow.